Only God knows why we die. There are thousands of religions in this world. It seems like they all try to come up with an answer to why we die and what happens when we die. But only God knows the truth. There's only one truth, and only God knows that. But I know this, it's one of the hardest things to deal with in this life. I'm recording this right now on the 10-year anniversary of the passing of my grandmother, my beloved grandmother, Nancy Lily Mae Brent. I miss my grandmama. I miss my grandmama dearly. But to be honest with you, I didn't really think about that until I saw my sisters posting about it. I saw my niece post about it on social media. My mother seemed to be shaken up. She mentioned it to me. Cause I don't know, maybe I just take myself away from that day. I think about my grandmother all the time, don't get shit twisted. But just the date, like commemorating the date, I don't do that. Her birthday, I celebrate that. But her death date, I don't think about it. I think about her death and how horrific it was, but just commemorating the date, I don't do it. And that's probably, again, because I said it was so horrific. I remember exactly where I was. I was teaching class, my third period class at William Sullivan High School in Durham, Mississippi. I was up right on the board doing my thing, going in, you know. And I would always keep my phone on in class. I'm the man of my family. You know what I'm saying? Something wrong with my mama. Something wrong with at that time, my grandmama was still alive. Something wrong with my grandmama. My wife, of course. My son. So I kept my phone on, and my niece called me. And I just answered it right there. I didn't even go out in the hallway. Just answered it right there. Because it was so strange for my niece to be calling me at that time of day. I don't know. Some just say just fuck it. I just kind of knew something wrong. And as soon as I answered it, my niece said, "Uncle Adam, she gone. She gone." And I just turned around and this is my biggest class that year, I think, too. Either my second or third period, my biggest class. But I turned around and just told them, you know, what happened, and that I had to go. They understood. And I went to the office, told them I gotta go. Hopped in my car, just sped back home, about 40-minute drive. And I went straight to the hospital and got in there, and just all my family was just losing it. They were losing it. My mama was in the room with my grandmama with her body. Remember the doctor came and like talked to us and tapped me on the leg, like. That pissed me off, especially once my family told me his reaction while my grandmama was dying. My grandma went to the doctor and died. My grandmama went to the doctor just, you know, to be seen or whatever, and start dying in front of a fucking doctor. And the doctor was like telling my family that she gonna be alright and shit. My grandma left here. Fuck that doctor. But I had to be strong that day. I mean, my mama was, like I said, was back there with my grandmama's body. One of my sisters ended up getting, you know, really overwhelmed. She ended up in a hospital room. My wife went to see my grandmama's body. She got overwhelmed. She ended up in a hospital room. And I just had to be strong. You know what I'm saying? I had to keep all that shit in. Knowing I'm hurting inside. Because the night before, I went over my grandmama's house as I usually do. I would go to my grandmother's house every single day to give her medicine. Because she had Alzheimer's. And it got to the point that she wouldn't even take her medicine unless I gave it to her. It got to the point that she sometimes called me daddy, like thinking about her father. You know, it was the mind, boy. But went over there, my wife went with me, and my grandmother needed a bath. She badly needed a bath. And my wife bathed her for me. And my grandmama sent me to the store to get her a grape drink. She loved a grape drink. And I brought it back for her, and I put her TV on her, one of her favorite programs, Bobby Jones Gospel. And as I left the house, I just remember her sitting on the couch and humming to herself, happy. My grandma used to love to hum. And my wife says she was humming the whole time. And she was watching her. And later on, my wife would tell me that's kind of why she kind of lost it the next day, because she kind of had a sense from that night that my grandma was going to transition. And now even later, my mama told me that my grandmama had told her, I'm getting ready to do something. I'm getting ready to do something. The funeral was hard. I tried to be strong, whatever. But when they closed the casket, and knowing that was the last time I was going to see her face, that was hard. Then you know how at churches, you know, they do shit for the members after the service and stuff like that. Like, you know, cook food in the black tradition, at least. Cook food for them and the family go over there and eat. They didn't have shit for my grandmama. So while we at the grave site from the burial, I had to send, luckily, one of my mama's friends went to pick up some food for us. I gave her the money. That was enraging. My grandmama had been so good, such a good member of church. And it always cooked for a situation like that. But then when they put my grandma, started to lower her in the ground, I just lost it. And thankfully my brother was there, Tim G. Jacob. He came to my grandmama's funeral, and I just hugged him and I cried and cried and cried. So finally it came all out. I can release and didn't have to be strong with him, you know. In the days and weeks to come, I started spending money foolishly. Cause I just was like, fuck it, I'm out here busting my ass every day. I'm teaching my ass off. I'm going hard, I'm getting money, taking care of my family, but I'm like, man, and you know, saving, being frugal and shit, you know, paying bills and then on, you know, not being frivolous. After my grandmama passed, shit, probably for weeks to come, I was buying dumb shit. Cause I just like, man, fuck money. What the fuck is this shit? All this shit made up. I'm gonna die anyway. My grandmama just left me. This ring right here. I bought this after my grandmama passed. I bought myself this and got my wife a ring as well. 2 new wedding bands. And we've been married going on probably Going on 3 years at that time, about 2.5 years, I would say then. And we already had wedding band. So I ain't need this, but again, I was grieving. So I did some dumb shit. Now, do I like the ring? I still rock it right now, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't have the money to be spending on this at that time. But the money didn't mean shit. Because what meant everything to me, along with my mama, that's who raised me, my mama and my grandmama. She was gone. So I was like, fuck it. So I'm saying all that shit to say this to y'all. Please, grieve. Grieve. Don't hold the shit in. Don't, if you have lost a loved one, and I know many of you have, because many of you, your first introduction to me was through that song about my mother, Mama Sick. And you talking about how your mother was sick and has already passed. So I know some of y'all are still grieving. Many others of you were introduced to me through only God knows. And I can see in the comments section that one of the things that many of you have had to battle against is depression. Depression which was triggered by losing somebody. So I know some of y'all are grieving. And I'm saying, grieve. That's everybody, male or female, grieve. That don't make you weak to miss somebody you love. Shit. It don't make you weak to fucking cry. Particularly talking to my males out there. But please grieve in a healthy way. Grieve in a smart way. Don't be frivolous like I was. Dumb shit. That didn't bring my grandma back. That bottle won't bring your loved one back. Them pills will not bring your loved one back. That weed will not bring your loved one back. So you gotta grieve in a healthy way. Two of the best things I've done since my grandmama has passed. I know 1 year specifically, like I organized a family party on or around her birthday, got everybody together, which my family rarely do, but got everybody together. We enjoyed each other. I'm proud of that. They didn't bring my grandmama back, but I know she would be happy to see us all together like that. But another thing I did was even more special. And it really made me feel good. Again, didn't bring my grandma back, of course, but that shit made me feel good. And what I did was, for my grandmama's birthday 1 year, I bought all the women in my family flowers. They didn't know this shit was coming. And I delivered the flowers to them. And they were shocked, they were happy, you know what I'm saying? And I told them I love them. So I'm talking my mama, my wife, my daughter, my sisters, my nieces. That felt so fucking good. You know, cause through them, my grandma's still here. Shit, through me, my grandma's still here. But definitely in a feminine form, my grandma's still here through them. So to make them happy that day felt good. And oh yeah, I got grandmama some flowers too. And we put on her grave and kissed the ground. And that felt good. So do something that's healthy. Grieve in a healthy way. But do something that's gonna make you feel good. And if you haven't lost a loved one yet, you take that opportunity. Right after you watch this, you take the opportunity to call them, to text them, whoever it is. It could be mama, it could be grandmama, it could be your father, your grandfather, your spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, your partners, whoever the fuck is holding you down. Do it now, and continue to do it. Let it be ongoing. That you show them you love them and appreciate them. Because once they are gone, they can't hear that shit. They can't hear that praise. They can't see your posts. They can't feel that love. Not directly. Hopefully they can feel it spiritually. But again, only God knows when it comes to that. I'm talking about right here. And what we know, what we can perceive in our limited ability as humans. You can go be direct with that person right now. See, I don't have to look back and say, I wish I had done this with Granny, I wish I had done that. Again, I went over my grandmama's house every single day. I would get off work, coaching, do whatever, and I'm going to see about my grandmama. I had to do that. Again, the night before she passed, I was there with her. My wife cleaned her body. Almost like she was preparing her. So you don't want that feeling. You don't want to lose somebody that you love, and then you sit back wishing you had done this, wishing you had said this and all this shit. You don't want that. I've experienced that. My cousin passed when I was in high school. And no, I did right by him and all that type of stuff. I'm not saying that I mistreated him or anything like that. I was kid. But I didn't get a chance to say bye to him. Like I'm telling you, I was there the day before my grandma passed. When it comes to my cousin, I had a basketball game. You know, and I'm all hooping. And I didn't even know he had passed till the next day. The next morning, my mama finally told me or whatever. And I was devastated. Because he was the only consistent male I had in my life, like at my house and stuff like that. You know, my mama's first cousin. Snuffy, we call her. So I was devastated. Because I wanted to tell him bye. So what I did was I wrote everything out that I wanted to say to him. I wrote it out. And then at the funeral, I put the letter in his hand in the casket. And that made me feel good. That made me feel good. So much so that I passed that activity down to my students. You know, when I was in the classroom, when we used to talk, before I had to teach a state test. Y'all know about state tests if your child in school. But before I had to teach state tests, I would talk to my kids about real shit once a week. I called it Character Education Day every Friday. And one day we did an activity where, you know, we cut the lights down, I put on some music, and told my kids to write to somebody that they love. Write what you want to say to them. Or if you haven't lost anybody, write to the motherfucker that you appreciate, but you know your ass ain't told them you appreciate them. And they would do that shit, and you know, the tears would be flowing. I told them you could share it with the class if you want to. Some did. It's one of the realest moments every year that I had a chance to do it. So I challenge you. You can do that same shit if you've already lost somebody. Or you can write the shit out to somebody who can still read it. Or maybe next time you have a family gathering, especially when this COVID bullshit is over, and please mask up, and if you can't get vaccinated, so this shit be over. But when this shit is over and you can gather again, maybe get around a table and hold hands and goddamn just talk about the person you lost. Or just honor the motherfucker that's still here in the family, who should be honored. Cause they ain't gonna be able to smell them flowers later. Let them smell them now. You feel me? And let them live on in your life. I stopped using RIP. I ain't doing that rest in peace shit. Not even rest in power. Long live. Long live my grandmama. She living within me. She lives in my mama. She lives in my daughter. You feel me? My grandmama was the sweetest person ever. Ever. In my opinion. And no matter what motherfuckers say about me, because I use curse words or because I might rap aggressively or talk aggressively or motherfucker get disrespect, I'm gonna cuss your ass out and shit like that. No matter what motherfuckers say about me, I'm a kind person. I want to help people. And I have helped many people. You understand? I feel my grandmama within me when it comes to shit like that. Because she was a kind, sweet person. So let your loved one live on forever. I know like we just lost some heavyweights in the culture, like Cicely Tyson and Hank Aaron. Recently we acknowledged the 1 year anniversary of Kobe's passing. But again, we can't let these people die. We can't let them rest. I don't want to say it like that. We can't forget them. You know what I'm saying? We gotta let their memories live on. If these are good people, we gotta let those examples live on and flourish. You understand? Muhammad Ali lives in me. I can go pull him up. YouTube, this is one of the greatest things about YouTube. I can go pull Muhammad Ali up whenever I need some inspiration. Whether it be his courage to speak truth to power, I can go watch him do that. Whether it be I need to do some cardio and I don't feel like doing this shit, I can go watch him get it in and then motivate me to goddamn do my thing. So he's living through me. Malcolm X lives home through me. When I need that motivation to be fearless, to speak truth to power in a brilliant, masculine, majestic way, I can listen to Brother Malcolm, and he lives on. Tupac lives on in me. If you're a real one and you fuck with Pop, hopefully you can see that. Some of y'all have said that in the comments section. I greatly appreciate that shit. That's the highest compliment you can pay to me in this rap shit. As compared me to Tupac Shakur. But he live on. You understand? The body might be at rest, but the spirit lives on. Because these motherfuckers done touched so many people. You understand? So I'm telling y'all now, when I leave this world, and hopefully, goddammit, that's 100 years from now. Or if I leave this world, if they end up, maybe the doctors end up coming up with some shit. All y'all science folk out there, you know what I'm saying, get on your shit. But as of right now, when I leave this world, don't say no motherfucking RIP. Don't say no rest in peace, rest in power, rest king, none of that shit. Say long live forever. You understand? I want to live on forever in the hearts and minds of everyone who fucking love me. You understand? You ought to be listening to my records, watching my videos, reading my writings and shit like that, and learn something from them and pass it on to your motherfucking folk and be inspired. That's what I want. I don't want to goddamn just be resting. I barely rest now. You understand? I barely rest now. If I'm woke, I'm working. You understand? So damn sure I don't want to rest forever. I want to live in the hearts and minds of those who love me. Cause that's where my grandmama lived. She lived definitely inside of me forever. May your loved one do the same. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. One.